Welcome everyone to Video Marketing for Accounting Strategies for 2018. Today is December 29th, 2017, and my name is Hector Garcia. First of all, let me add some context to this. The reason for putting this webinar together was really to update a group of folks that joined me and Seth David on a webinar called Video Marketing for Accountants back in December 1st. We actually charged about $250 for that webinar. We had about 40 people watch it live. It was about 3 hours long. And this in particular, we're doing this, recording this for free as a sort of an update to that webinar. And we're also making it public for two reasons. One, there are some interesting things that you will get out of this webinar, even if you didn't join that live webinar back on December 1st. And in addition to that, you are going to maybe hopefully get some ideas from here that you can implement on your own. And of course, at the end, I'll talk about how to get into that paid program that we have that has Camtasia videos, video editing tips and tricks and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with equipment update. So one of the most common questions I've been getting in the past couple of weeks or so has been from folks telling me that they have been wanting to get into video marketing. They want to create some videos. They want to post some content with videos. However, they're not sure about what equipment to get. So I wanted to kind of focus on the low cost side of equipment first, and then I'll talk about some of the larger investments into some video making that you can do. I've actually spent the last 2 years researching video cameras and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to focus on equipment update and the low cost side, and then we'll talk about some of the bigger investments you can make on equipment depending on what you want to do, and take the entire webinar with a grain of salt, kind of go through all the content and then decide whether or not you're going to want to do something with equipment or without equipment, that sort of thing. So let's move on with it. First of all, to get started with video, all you really need is the built-in webcam in your computer. You actually don't need to buy a webcam. I think that you can get started simply by using the built-in webcam in your computer. However, I will never use the built-in microphone on the computer. You're going to get a lot of echo. And one thing I found, audio is more important than video. The audio quality will keep people connected more than the video quality. So you should, if you're going to invest anything, invest in the audio quality, especially because if what you're doing is voice, if you're doing a message of some sort, if you're talking to folks, if you're giving tips, if you're explaining tax law, whatever it is that you're doing, the audio itself needs to be really, really high quality. Otherwise, people will disconnect. I can tell you that for a fact. So I would invest in a $20, $30 headset. Let me show you one that I have here. I have a Logitech. It's called an H390. This is the one that I use. This was about $25 or $27 in Amazon. I will give you some of the ones that seem actually better than this one as a tip. So I would say if you're going to do it with a computer, don't need to buy an additional webcam. Usually the webcam is pretty good, especially the Mac webcams are awesome. And you do invest in a nice headset just so you can get a microphone close to your mouth and you don't get a lot of background noise. The other piece, if you're not going to do it with a computer, which that's okay, it doesn't need to be in a computer from a computer. You can use it from a phone. What you do want to have, I suggest as a bare minimum, have a tripod because I kind of get tired of people holding their phones like this, right? To me, first of all, when you hold your phone like this, go back for a second. When you hold your phone like this without a tripod, when you hold your phone like this, you're going to have a couple of issues. One, you're going to have shaky hand syndrome, right? Which is going to make it feel like just a very homemade thing. And that to me, for marketing, is not so good. The other piece about this is your arm itself is not long enough to really give you a wide shot. So you're going to end up having a lot of your face in the video. And that to me is just way too personal. So what I like about having a set like this, and this tripod is actually kind of expensive. It was like 40 something dollars. This is the Joby Gorilla Pod, but you don't have to get something like this. You can get actually something that's $10 or so. Sorry about the noise. You get this something like this really small. It's about $10 or so, and you know it's not flexible like this one. And I'll talk about the advantages of having the flexible. What's nice about this is even if you're gonna hold it in your hand, you can actually extend them, right? So you get a little bit more range, right? So I do get a little bit more range, so I don't get that that in your face type of video. And the other piece, what's nice about the flexible one in particular, is that I can pretty much set it anywhere, right? It can hang on to a pole, it can be on top of a chair, all that stuff, all that stuff. So the bare minimum equipment to me would be your laptop with a headset or your phone with a tripod. And the most important piece is yourself, your brain, your voice, right? The message that you're bringing along. Don't focus too much on the equipment. I mean, that would be my first underlying message. However, a lot of folks want to get equipment. I mean, I think that getting equipment, which requires a monetary investment, also puts you like gives you a little bit more pressure. I think because you already made the investment, you bought something, it gives you a little bit more pressure. And if it's sitting there on your desk, it may give you a reminder that you need to create some content. So if you do want to get a webcam, just get the Logitech C920. That's the one that I have. I've had it for a while. It does 1080p. I mean, does like full HD. It's $50. It can be on top of your laptop, or you can put it on top of the same tripod you would use in a phone in the first place, which would be a $10 investment. Again, we talked about the headset. The MPOW USB headset is $21. You can look that up in Amazon. You can also go with a lavalier mic. I like lavalier mics. They look like this. Lavalier mics, they have some pros and cons. One of the pros to a lavalier mic is that you can hide it under your shirt, right? So you can hide it under your shirt, or you can tape it to your chest, to your thorax, and then it looks like you have no microphone. So that's actually pretty cool, and that's assuming that you want that no microphone look. I actually like the microphone look. Look, I got this big microphone that's covering my face now. I actually like this. It makes it feel like sort of radio style, semi-professional. So I actually like the microphone sort of on the way. So it's up to you. So that's what's nice about the lavalier mic. And there are $600 lavalier mics or lapel mics, and there's $20 mics. Honestly, if you're not using any high-end audio equipment, the $20 mics are good enough. There is some issues with lavalier mics in particular, is that they're very sensitive. So you rub them a little bit, you touch them a little bit, and you're gonna hear a lot of that grainy kind of noise in it. So you have to be very careful around microphones like this. And if they're in your chest and you touch your chest or somebody touches your chest, you're gonna hear a loud thump. The other bad thing about the lavalier mics is you really can't control the audio volume in these. So the only way to control the volume is to lower your voice, or change the positioning of the lavalier mic in your body. But for $20, you can get a lot of stuff done. Now, if you want more of a sort of like podcasting or tutorial video creation microphone, I would go with a Blue Snowball. It's about $50 in Amazon. It's on the top right of the screen now. I think it's a good thing to do. If you're not going to get the full headset, you get the Snowball. If you're going to do interviews and record the interviews where people are going to be talking to you, remember that the Snowball is going to sit in your desk somewhere, and it's going to pick up what other people are talking to you as well. So if you don't get headphones on top of the Blue Snowball, an external microphone, you're going to get some feedback along the way. So the headsets kind of do that both all in one. You get the audio isolated in your ears and the microphone right in your mouth, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you do get an external microphone like the Blue Snowball, that's not the headset, you may have to use just regular headphones if you're going to interview someone in the video. Okay, so that's just kind of like some low cost things. Now, if you're going to go with iPhone based or the telephone, smartphone based videos, you can go with a nice tripod, high quality. It's about $12. The one that you see on the screen is called the UB size phone tripod. Is pretty good. It comes with the adapter, with a little black adapter here for the phone. That adapter is a real simple adapter, so it doesn't allow you to put something on top like an external microphone, which I'll discuss in a second. But if you're not going to buy an external microphone for your smartphone, that's not a headset microphone. That's something that sits on top of the phone. Then you can get that that tripod is nice. Then there's also the Novpeak cell phone holder, which has a clamp. It's the one in the middle. What's cool about this is you can clamp it anywhere on your desk. You can clamp it to a pole maybe that's nearby. It's totally flexible, so it's really easy to sort of move around. So if you're going to use your phone and you want to be able to put the phone a little bit up, a little bit down, and not take too much space on your desk, clamping it, I like that option, and it's $9. I mean, I can't really go wrong with that option. And then there is a combination of a ring light and the flexible bracket for the iPhone. So it has a little tiny ring light. So if you're gonna do some recording in your room and your room is dark, and you want to just kind of highlight your face, you can, for 22 bucks, you can get both the bracket that holds the phone and the ring light put together. And I thought that was pretty neat. I don't have one of those, but I thought that was pretty neat. So I wouldn't, you don't need all three of these. You need one of these, right? So that's the most important piece. You need one of these. So you can either spend 10, 15, or 25 bucks depending on what you want. I thought the ring light one was pretty neat. So if you have a pretty dark room, that's a good option. Okay, so the other thing is, microphones for your smartphone. So the lavalier mic, as I mentioned, is 20 bucks. The nice thing about smartphones is that once you plug a lavalier mic to a smartphone, the smartphone itself, regulates the audio levels. So it actually takes care of one of the main issues with the lapel mics, which is it's a little bit loud. So that you can actually get that. It's the same $20 lavalier mic I was suggesting earlier is that one. My favorite shotgun microphone for a phone is called the Rode Video Mic Micro. It's $59. I think it was 57 yesterday when I checked on Amazon. It's about this big. I used to own that. I bought that a couple months ago, and I ended up trading it in for this guy. Just show you the one that I got. I went a little bit over. I mean, it was a pretty big contrast. So I actually ended up trading it for this one just because I wanted to have a little bit higher end microphone. So I'll talk about this one a little bit earlier. But you actually don't need this. Right? The reason I got this is because I'm also going to plug it to my digital camera. So I wanted to have something that would work both for a phone and a digital camera and for the settings that I was in. But if you're going to just use your phone, I think the Video Mic Micro is awesome. And if you want to put it on top of your phone, like this, the way I'm showing it on the screen now on the webcam. If you want to use it, you need to get the Z Stylus Grip, which is $13, which you can put on top of any tripod, and it has a little bracket here that allows you to put a digital camera microphone. So you got to get those two together if you're gonna put the microphone right on top of the phone, which is also good for selfie mode, right? Because that shotgun mic works really good for selfie mode, and it will isolate the audio that's around it. I also noticed that. Let me see. Okay. I also noticed that they had this microphone that came with its own tripod. That's $26. It's called a ZO Okoa M30. 26 bucks, and it plugs to a phone. So if you want to have a sort of a condenser style microphone for your phone, that's also a good option. So I wanted to just kind of give you really low cost options. The other thing that I got recently was this guy, and I've been testing it with my kids. I've been interviewing my kids as a test. So this guy right here is called a Rode SE6. And basically what it does is allows you to plug it to your phone, and it will split the signal into two microphone inputs. So you can have two lavalier mics, each strapped to each of the person's chest, right? Or whatever it is that the style is going to be. And as long as you got pretty long lavalier mics or extensions, you can sit pretty far away from your phone. So you can have two distinct audio channels for each person, which really does increase the quality instead of using the shotgun mic like the one I was showing earlier. So you could use a shotgun mic like the Video Mic Micro, which is the one on the left, for an interview, but you have to sit pretty far away from the microphone, and you may get some background noise. So this option gives you the capacity to plug in two lavalier mics. Now, I've also been experimenting this month, on doing both Facebook Live and YouTube Live at the same time. And in order to do that, you're going to have two devices connected, because you cannot on a single device do dual Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So you're either going to have two phones a phone and an iPad or a tablet. You can use, dual holder brackets like this. You can use two tripods, or you can use a combination of a webcam, maybe do Facebook Live on one side, and do YouTube Live with the other equipment, that sort of thing. All right, so let's see. So let's talk about Facebook Live for a second. So I'm going to take a quick break here, and I'm going to open up my browser, and I'm going to show you. Let me show you my browser. There we go. Okay, so I'm on Facebook now. I'm actually going to chat my friend Seth and tell him to join me, and you're going to see what this looks like. So I'm going to say, join me. Okay, and he knows what that means. I call him beforehand to tell him. Let me stop the recording here for a second, and I'm going to go to my I'm on Facebook, right? And I'm going to click on live video. So I want to just show you how easy it is to do a Facebook Live. I'm going to click on live video. Okay, there's my camera connected. I'm gonna give this a quick title. So I'm gonna say, how often should I post videos? Okay, so this is the title of my video, and this is going to go live. Up here, I get to click on share on your timeline, share in a group, share an event. I can actually pick whether or not I want to put this inside of a group or put it in my timeline. I'm going live on my timeline, and I have a video by the name of how often should I post. I can click here on share screen, which actually allows me also to share the screen. You have to download an extension. I'm not going to share the screen. I'm just going to do a quick video, and then I'm going to give it the same title up here. Okay, so how often should I post videos? How often should I post? I'm going to click on go live, and I'm just going to do a quick live video in Facebook. And I recommend that you go into Facebook, search for my name, and kind of see me go live on a different browser if you can, just so you can check. Hi, everybody. Hi, Facebook. I'm actually running a live webinar right now where I'm teaching a few folks, there's about 75 people connected to the webinar now, on how to do videos or some strategies to think about doing videos for 2018 as the main marketing strategy. Whether you're an accounting professional or you have any other business, I strongly believe that if you do have a message to give, if you have something you want to tell folks, if you want to showcase what your business does, what you do personally, what you're passionate about, I think you should be creating videos. Now, one of the main questions I have is, how often should I post? Like, how often should I be making videos? Now, I am currently thinking about a strategy which I call the 1 minute a day strategy. So if you take 365 days of the year and you multiply times a minute, that's 365 minutes. I believe you should commit to 365 minutes of video making for a whole year. Now, that doesn't mean that you actually have to post 1 minute video every day. If you're going to go weekly, then do a 7 minute weekly video. If you're going to do monthly, then you get the point, right? If you're going to do monthly, then do a 30-minute monthly video. So depending on how many, how much time you're going to commit to doing it, do about a minute a day. So if you're going to do daily videos, do daily 1 minute videos. If you're going to do only weekdays, do 1 to 2 minute, give yourself some slack, 1 to 2 minute videos Monday through Friday. If you're going to go weekly, again, do about 7 minutes every week, so go a little bit longer. If you're going to go monthly, 30 minutes, you get the point. So I think that you should also commit to a schedule. So if you're going to do monthly videos, commit, to the first Monday of every month, or last Friday of every month, whatever it's going to be, so people are expecting it. You want your audience to build a habit. You want them to know that on X day of X time, they are going to expect a video, some sort of content from me. Now, that's what we did with a webinar series called QB Power Hour. For the last 4 years, we've trained the people that watch it that every other week at 12 p.m. on Thursday, there's going to be some content related to QuickBooks, and people are going to join based on that. Let me see. Seth, do you want to join for a Facebook Live? I actually had my friend Seth, I asked him to join me live and click on the button for him to join me live because I want to show you what it would look like if somebody joins in on the live action. But I'm not sure. I had texted Seth, say, hey, could you join on the live action? I'm not sure if he's going to or not, but that was one of the intentions of this, but that's okay if we can have him join on it. Anyway, so that's on the frequency. Now, on the other piece that has to do with the frequency is for folks to, let me see, can I invite someone in? Let me give me a second. I don't think I can invite someone in. I wanted to invite someone into the, let me see, invite friends. I'm going to invite Seth and I'm going to show you something. I just invited someone to join me on the Facebook Live. So I want to show you kind of like some extra dynamics of just doing a live video, but also bringing a second person in. And that could also be a strategy you can do with another, maybe another professional or maybe someone else that wants to help you create content. A lot of times, one of the challenges with content creation is thinking and overthinking that your content needs to be great, it needs to be on point, that it needs to be, it needs to be amazing, that it needs to that every single person, needs to like it. But that's not what it is. Your content needs to be something that your audience expects, and it needs to be consistent, or it should be consistent. So if you're going to talk about taxes all the time. If you're going to talk about dealing with employees, talk about dealing with employees all the time. If you're going to talk about marketing, talk about marketing all the time. If you're going to talk about QuickBooks, talk about QuickBooks all the time. And that is one of the things that most folks are going to want to expect, and is most likely that that's a reason they would or would not join you. So that's a really important thing. So that's really it. All I wanted to mention on this live video. I have to get back to my webinar. So for the folks that saw it live, thank you very much. I saw some people were doing some posts. I'm going to try it one more time. Which will be a separate video with my friend Seth. So I'm going to finish this one right now. Okay, so no more. So the Facebook Live is over. Okay, what's really cool about Facebook Live, which is one of the things I wanted to make sure you guys saw, I'm talking about to the folks that are watching the webinar, is that you get live sort of feedback on who's joining. You get live comments. Sometimes your Facebook Live itself can change dynamically, based on the comments that are coming in. So you see comments coming in, folks are giving you feedback, they're asking you questions, and that is going to possibly even change the dynamic of the content. So let me hit done, and that Facebook went live. Okay, I'm gonna tell Seth I'm gonna try again. I'm going to try again. Okay, so I'm gonna expect invite. So I'm telling my friend Seth to join me live to try to make this work on a live webinar. So let me click on live video. How do I invite someone in here? Don't know how to invite someone here. Let me see. Maybe he can do it. Let me see. You have to invite me. I did invite him. Let me see. Live video, and no screen share. Tag people on the post. I don't think there's a way of doing it. I'm gonna try with my phone. Okay, so just bear with me for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and run my Facebook from my phone. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an idea. So I'm actually on Facebook Live on my phone, not on the computer itself. Let me see if that makes a difference. So let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna go start live video. Okay, so I'm live, Facebook Live from my phone, and I'm doing this because I'm showing some folks in a live webinar that I'm working on how to get someone live on it. So I'm going to invite my friend Seth. I'm just going to click on invite and invite my friend Seth David to see if he can join me on the webinar. So I send them a quick, I mean, not on the webinar, but on the live video. So I send them a quick invite. I want him to join because I just want to show you how the dynamic works. It may fail because you know how it is. Working live, and something obviously is going to go wrong. So I invited my friend to join me live, and Seth, you're invited, and I know you're watching, so I'm kind of expecting and waiting for you to join, and please work this time. So there's Seth. I don't know if he wants to join me. And if it doesn't work, we'll move on to the other topics. What I wanted to show as well was, when I'm holding the phone with a, let me see, what's taking so long? So when I have a flexible tripod like this, I can hold it and it gives me a little bit more flexibility, right? In terms of how I can hold it. I know you can't tell exactly how I'm holding it. I can maybe show you my arm on this, but what's nice about it, and I'm also doing this live, is that I can also bend it whichever way I want to bend it to get whatever performance I want out of it. Okay, so so I guess this is not going to work. I was trying to get someone to join in live. He can't join the broadcast. All right, never mind then. I was really trying to get someone to join me live so we can do the duo mode. And Seth, if you want to, maybe you could try it and I can join you. Not sure, but sorry about that. It usually it happens when you go live. It happens. Oh wait a second. I think I can bring him in now. So I invited him to join. Let's see if that works. It says adding. I don't know. Facebook is having some issues. Your guest declined the live invitation. Okay, well, Facebook, thank you for embarrassing me in front of many people in a live webinar, but we'll move on. Let me hit finish and we'll move on. All right, no problem. I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of doing that, but I guess it didn't work. So I'll go ahead and delete that. I won't even post it into Facebook. So in my phone, I actually clicked on delete, and it doesn't have to permanently post. So some folks saw that second piece of the video, um, uh, but I deleted it, so no one will ever watch the second one. Now I'm going to click on my profile again. This is my regular Facebook profile, and I'm going to show you right now what you're seeing is me looking at the video that I just posted. I get to see how many views. So there's 39 views so far. Then we get to see some of these comments. Don't really know what's working or what's not working. So we're trying to. We were actually testing the whole dual live thing, but that's okay if it doesn't work. But then you see that some folks are commenting on the live video, and again, the live video itself. The nice thing about it is even some of the text that people are giving you can change the dynamic of that video itself. So that's what I wanted to show you on the Facebook Live side. Let's move on to YouTube Live. And just to make sure, I'm just want to make, if you don't mind, bear with me. I think Seth wanted me to join him live on a video. So let's try one more time. Okay, let's see. So Seth started a video. That's just inviting them to watch. Last time I tried this. Let me see. So Seth, I'm on his. I'm gonna see if he can invite me to join. So we're gonna try this one more time because I think this is awesome when it works. So maybe something's wrong with the dual. This is actually a new feature of Facebook. So maybe there's something wrong with the ability to join each other's Facebook Live. But we did it last month and it worked really smoothly. Basically, we got he invites me or I invite him, and we can join on a live video. But for some strange reason, it's just not working. So if it pops up, we'll do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna move on to YouTube Live. So let me tell him I'm moving on. Thanks. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and move to YouTube Live now. Okay, so I want to show you YouTube Live. Okay, so I'm going to go into YouTube, and obviously I have a YouTube channel. I'm logged in, so I'm going to click on the upload button. Okay, actually, yeah, I can't show you that in here, but so in YouTube, you can only, from the browser itself, you can only upload pre-recorded videos. However, I'm going to go, if you focus on the webcam here now, and I'm going to try to, as much as possible, kind of show you that. YouTube has, let me just go here real quick. Okay, so YouTube has an app on the phone. Okay, YouTube has an app on the phone that allows me to press. I don't know if you can see. Okay, just okay. Yeah, I think you can see. Okay, I'm just checking out the webcam here. Give me 1 second. Doing this live is not easy, but so that's okay. So that's what the phone app looks in the for the YouTube. So there's going to be a button here somewhere in the top that says live, and let me press it here. So right there it says it has a little camera, and then down here at the bottom it says live. Okay, then I give it a title. Right, so I'm going to call it testing. I'm just going to call it test, and then I click on next. Okay, it says creating. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that basically did a quick screenshot. I don't like that screenshot. Let's get another screenshot that's even better. Retake thumbnail. Okay, so yeah, so now I got a much better thumbnail there, right? You want to have a nice crisp thumbnail. All right, I'm gonna click on go live. Hey Facebook, so I apologize. This video actually was not prepared for. I'm running a live webinar right now where I'm speaking to some folks about video making, about going live on Facebook. We actually messed up trying to get someone else logged into the Facebook live, but we are doing a let me see, make sure you can, we are doing a YouTube live, and we're kind of just showing folks it's pretty simple. You can only do YouTube live at the moment with the phone. You cannot do YouTube live on the computer, through the browser. So you can only do YouTube live through the phone. But there's a particular reason why I want to encourage people to do YouTube live. The specific reason why I want folks to do live is because once it's live, it's done. And it requires no editing, it requires no preparation from a technical standpoint. You obviously have to prepare your content. It's very important to have powerful, good, effective content if you actually want to get clients from your video making activities. But what's nice about live is that it goes, and however it goes, mistakes and all, that's how it stays. But the nice thing about live is if you're getting live comments, you get to react with those comments, or in some cases, your video itself may end up being different. And the other piece is, hey, we're all human. We make mistakes. Mistakes are okay. Mistakes are a total part of video making, especially if you're speaking from the heart. It is not rehearsed. I don't have a script. If you're just trying to create content that other folks connect with, and then if you're doing any type of business, consulting, accounting, whatever, if folks like you, if they connect with what's in your heart and your mind, they're gonna end up working with you. So I want to encourage everyone to experiment 2018 with as much live video as possible. Don't worry if nobody's watching it. Don't worry if nobody watches. At the end of the day, if one person watches and you connect with one person, and that becomes a client or a friend or a colleague, that connection may be worth more than the time and the anxiety you invested on whether or not it's good to do a video. So that's the only message I want to give. So let me go ahead and hit the X button, hit end, and that will end the YouTube live. At the end, it's giving me some stats, right? It's saying, how long it was, how many people saw it live, all that stuff, and then I can just click on done, and that's it. It's gonna be in my YouTube channel now. So if you go into my YouTube channel, it'll do processing, and you see that will be up and running by then. And that's it. That's what we were trying to do. And at least we got, 2 live videos during the webinar. And that's really what I wanted to do, or at least that's as much as I wanted to show you on the whole area of live. Now, let me move on to my PowerPoint. If you don't mind, let's go ahead and change to PowerPoint. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that was my quick bit on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So let's move on to equipment update. By the way, if you don't mind, on the questions box, just tell me what you thought about the whole thing so far. I would love to see your feedback, as I was scrambling all over the place trying to get something up and running. But I would love to see what you thought about that whole thing, or that attempt to do something, right? So some people said great job. Some people say be better prepared next time. Hey, thank you. I know, Captain Obvious. I will be better prepared next time. I wasn't really sure, um, how to. I mean, again, look, this is the nice thing about doing live webinars, which is similar to doing Facebook live videos, is that your humanness, it comes across, and the learning that comes from doing is the most powerful one. See, now next time I do this, I will test it and make sure it works, make sure I'm pressing the right buttons, make sure that the Facebook live apparatus is working correctly, that I didn't miss something along the way. And that is part of the biggest strategy for 2018 for me, is to crush my comfort zone, get out of my comfort zone. Live videos is something that I've never really thought about doing. I'm always scared to the live videos because of that specific concept. Like, live videos always scare me because of that, because I'm a perfectionist and I want everything to come out right. However, the people that are joining this webinar are people that probably follow my work in other places, and I think for the most part respect what I do, so I don't really have to worry about how this is going to be. But if I want to do a video that's more about capturing clients and that sort of thing, then maybe I would have a different approach. I wouldn't do live videos for that sort of thing, right? So, okay, so let's move on to let's talk about investing on better equipment or better camera. First of all, general blanket statement: if you have an iPhone 6, 7, 8, or X, Samsung Galaxy, or Google Pixel, you have one of the best cameras in the world on your phone. You don't need a digital camera, a digital SLR camera. You don't need to invest in one of these big clunky things that I have up here. You don't need to invest in one of these things in order to make high quality content. Now, if you invest in a camera like that, you will probably be more encouraged to create more content, just because you got sort of more skin in the game. Sorry, this thing is clunky. Let me put it back here on view just in case. I know some people like looking at the camera. So you don't need a big digital SLR camera to create good content. Okay, I mean, your phone is going to be great by itself. And if you're waiting to get some money to buy a camera to do some content, don't. Now, if you are in between changing your flip phone for one of these phones and getting a camera, I would say just get a better phone, because the phone itself is going to have dual purpose. Okay, so that would be sort of my first statement. I don't like the tablet camera so much, like iPad cameras and stuff like that. They're kind of weak in my opinion. So the phone cameras are just much better. Now, if you are going to go with equipment, if you are going to make some sort of equipment, I've been studying cameras for the past 2 years. And from this screen, I own two of these. I own the Canon 80D, which is the one on the bottom left. And I thought at the moment that would be the best bang for the buck, the best purchase. And I just got recently, the Panasonic G85, which is at the top right of the screen, which was about a couple $100 less, and it does 4K. I will tell you, Canon is a very popular brand, and I think most people want to go with Canon. Canon has a lot of lenses, has a lot of compatible lenses. They have great reputation, great quality. If you are a Canon person, stick with Canon. The only problem with Canon is that none of their cameras that are under $5,000 do 4K, and 4K means double the resolution of 1080 HD. And most TVs are 1080 HD. Most phones are 1080 HD. Most people watch in 1080 HD, but 4K, which is double the resolution, it was coming. A lot of the newer TVs are 4K, and it may take more computing power to edit 4K, and it will take maybe 5 years or so for everybody to adapt 4K as the standard. But if you want to get something that already does a little bit more, I would go either the Panasonic G85 or the Nikon 7500. They're both 4K cameras. But if you want to get started with a digital camera and you don't care about 4K, the Canon SL2 for $600 is probably the best deal. Now, you want to move on the Canon to the 80D or the 6D if you also want to have much more flexibility on picture taking. So if you're also going to take pictures with the camera, you want to go up the ranks with that. But if you're just doing videos, the SL2 is a great video camera. Now, what to look for when buying a digital camera? Well, one of the first things is, if the camera is going to be on a fixed tripod, whether it's a big fixed tripod like this guy here or a small one like this, they're still going to be fixed for the most part. then you really don't care about the weight, right? Because some other physical thing, it's holding the camera together. Okay, not not you, some other physical things. You don't care about the weight. But if you're gonna hold it in your hand like this, I mean, holding an iPhone is really nothing, but holding that big camera up there, which I did in the last conference I went to, QuickBooks Connect, for 2 days straight, it can really be a strain on you because you're literally holding it with two hands sometimes. So you want to watch for the weight. So if you're like in Best Buy or something, test the weight of them before you get one. The other piece is available lenses. Like if the lenses you can buy for those cameras are really expensive or hard to find, you may want to look at a camera that has more inexpensive lenses, used lenses out there, because these big cameras, their biggest thing is their lenses. So you're gonna be buying lenses for sure. The other piece you want to look at is a very important feature is image stabilization. The Canon 80D, the one that I have, has great image stabilization. As you go less expensive, the sub $1,000 cameras, the image stabilization is a little bit weaker. And if you're going to be walking around with it, you want the video to be smooth, so you want to look at that. That's why I like the Canon 80D, or the going back to that screen real quick, or the Panasonic G85. They both have great image stabilization features in it. The other piece is 1080 versus 4K. As I mentioned earlier, most image quality will be in 1080. You don't have to worry about 4K. But if you're gonna make $1,000 investment, might as well spend an extra hundred or whatever and get 4K. I would get 4K. You also want, if you're ever gonna film in slow motion, you want to look at frames per second. So you want to make sure that on 1080p, which is the minimum standard for HD, that you have 60 or more frames per second if you ever want to film in slow motion, which is great for B-roll. And I'll talk about B-roll a little bit later on. And from the looks of it, this webinar is going to be much longer than an hour. So some of you are excited about that and some of you not so much. All right. And then the other piece is the flip screen. One of the things that made this camera famous, the whole new generation of Canons, is the flip screen, right? Because the flip screen itself, which is this guy here, allows me to see the myself. And whether you think that's important or not, I mean, I don't know. But if you are out of frame on your video and you sit there and make a 25-minute video and you do a really awesome video and then you realize that you were out of focus or maybe to the side, like this, and that's not really what you wanted, you really didn't want to be to the side of the video like this, that flip screen really, really helps just for you to know where you are, the focus, how much, how much of the background you're picking up. So if you're going to do a lot of sort of selfie style videos, which is what most of us will be doing, then you want to make sure that it has a flip screen. Now this is called a vlogger setup. This is actually this has become very popular because one of the YouTubers, very famous YouTubers, his name is Casey Neistat, does it. Like, he actually walks around New York City with the tripod like this, with the digital camera, with a shotgun mic and a windsock, which is a fluffy thing that you see on top of it, which kind of stops the wind from hitting it. He walks around New York City, makes videos, and for 3 years he posted 2 years he posted daily videos. He became really famous because of that. So that's called the vlogger setup. So if you want to call attention to yourself while you're out there filming yourself, definitely walk around with a setup like this. And whichever digital camera you get, just make sure that you get a nice shotgun mic. You can do the Video Mic Micro, which is the one I recommended for an iPhone setup. I love that one. You can go the Tascar 598. It's $30 in Amazon. It's incredible for the price, and it's really technically there to compete with the Rode. Whoops, this has got the wrong description. I apologize. This one's the Video Mic Pro. So Video Mic Pro Plus. Whoops. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, that's the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, which is $300, which is the one that I got. I don't know. I just wanted to get the best one, and I at the moment I didn't mind making the investment because I was making some videos for hire. So I ended up saying that's fine. I'll take part of that revenue invested into a microphone. But the Rode Video Mic Micro is a great brand, $59. If you want to take it one step up, do the taskbar. The $30 taskbar is actually better than the VideoMic Pro, but it's battery powered and it's not a brand that we know. So if it goes bad, you're probably gonna have to throw it away. With Rode, which is a great brand, if it goes bad, they'll probably replace it for you. That's kind of like the thing with good brands. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about software updates. I want to make quick updates to software. What kind of software can you use depending on the type of videos you're making? Of course, if we're talking about software, we're talking about mostly software on a phone, sorry, on a laptop or on a computer, but there's also phone-based software, so we'll talk about that briefly. So let's move on to software for screen capture and editing. So if you have a PC, at this point, I only recommend two solutions. I recommend Camtasia for $200. It's great software, a lot of tutorials available online and YouTube for free. Seth David, my friend that we couldn't connect in the Facebook Live, has a great tutorial on it, which I'll tell you how to get it if you want to buy it. It's really great. And for screen capture and editing, Camtasia is a great all-in-one package. Now, Adobe Premiere, it's I mean anyone would tell you it's double, triple the quality, the type of software. It's been in the market for longer. It's by Adobe. It'll probably be a little bit more complicated to use for most folks. I think Camtasia is easier to use. And Adobe doesn't sell the software anymore. It's a subscription. So you have to pay $20 a month for the Adobe package that includes Adobe Premiere. But if you don't have the $200 right now, but you do have the 20 and you want to get started with some sort of video capture software, you can start with that. There's no contracts or anything. So you can have it for a couple of months, publish, and then stop using it. If you're on a Mac, I think you have a couple of extra choices just because some folks are doing videos on iMovie. Like my brother who just went to Thailand and Cambodia and made this awesome video about his trip, all in iMovie, spend nothing in software. Proves to me that you can do really nice things with software. Maybe not so much for screen capture, but mostly for just footage. Then you have ScreenFlow, which is $130. It went up from 100 to $130. I use ScreenFlow on my Mac, and the reason why I use ScreenFlow is because for me it's easier to use. I've been using it for 6 years already. But I also have Camtasia on my PC. So when I do on my PC, I'll use Camtasia. When I do on my Mac, I'll use ScreenFlow. For some reason, Camtasia for Mac didn't feel as good as ScreenFlow for me, so I use ScreenFlow. And the same Adobe Premiere software, and it's identical on Mac and PC, it's available, so that's an option. If you do a lot of switching back and forth and you want to use the same exact software, whether you're on a PC or a Mac, then my recommendation would be to use Adobe Premiere, just because it'll be the same experience, PC or Mac. And then a lot of folks use Final Cut Pro 10 or X, whatever it is. It's a $300 software. I've never used it, honestly. My partner's son uses it, and he's done some amazing videos with it. But I can't give you much more information that I know is a little bit more expensive, and a lot of Mac users love it. I think if you're gonna get started, Camtasia or Adobe Premiere are absolutely the best options. And then I'll talk about something called Zoom later on, which is actually not video editing software, but it's potentially great video capturing software. Okay, so if you're gonna make some videos on your phone, in your smartphone, and you wanna maybe mix a couple of videos together and add some text or add some voiceover, Adobe Premiere Clip is awesome. It's a free software, which is pretty amazing. It does require you to create a free Adobe account, but that's not really a big deal. And that's how they're getting people into the whole Adobe brand with video making. Hopefully you love Adobe Premiere, and then you move to Adobe Clip on your phone, and you move to Adobe Premiere on the software. On the computer itself. I like it, but I've been using one that I bought for $2 called Video Shop. I've done a couple of videos with that, and basically I just record myself in like 2 or 3 different scenarios, and then I splice them together and I post them, and it's very easy to use. You can do slow motion, you can speed up, you can trim the videos, you can join them together, you can add text, all with this one. But you can start with the Adobe one and then move on to this one for $2 if you want to make some edits, all 100% from your phone. YouTube used to have an app called YouTube Director, which I absolutely loved, and they took it out in December. They basically killed it the first week of December. Let me see. Just make sure that you are seeing the screen. Whoops. Okay, so we were on, somebody saying the screen wasn't moving. So we were on the video capture screen, which is this one here. Make sure you have all that data in there. Then we talked about Adobe Premiere Clip, which you can search on an iPhone or an Android. And then we talked about Video Shop. Thanks for letting me know the screen was frozen and wasn't changing. I think it's working now. Okay, and then we have YouTube Director, and they're advertising that they're revamping their Director app. And I have the first version of it that they took out was actually absolutely amazing. I did a live video in QuickBooks Connect in November last month, and it came out awesome. And so just keep checking director.youtube.com or put yourself in the mailing list. When this app comes out, I think it's going to be one of the most powerful phone-based video making tools ever created for people making YouTube videos. I mean, the first version was amazing. So if they took it out to redo it, I think Google is going to come up with something really good. So I just want you to kind of like look at that. I don't know if they're going to charge for it, or I don't know if that's going to be free. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about define your content style. So I think we're going to go about 30 more minutes long. So I know that most of my webinars are 1 hour long. If you need to log out, I'm okay with that. I'm not making this recording available to the public. I'm only going to make it available to a few selected folks that actually bought a program that we sold earlier this month. So if you do have an extra 30 minutes or so, I would suggest that you stay on the webinar if you don't mind. Okay, and the idea is I want to give you as much information as possible so for you to pick, which way you're going to go and start making videos next year. Okay, so let's go through video styles a little bit. So the most common video style you see on my YouTube channel is tutorials with a webcam, right? So I have a QuickBooks tutorial, an Excel tutorial, walking people on how to do things. And I have a small version of my webcam somewhere in the bottom right of the screen, or bottom left, or bottom right, somewhere in the corner. I also do a few interviews where I talk to folks that I like, admire, and I say, hey, let's do a quick interview. I did it under a brand called Advisor's Corner. I was trying to create a whole thing around it, and it's not dead yet, but I only did about 8 interviews. I put them in my YouTube channel, and it does get a couple of views. It's fun. You build a relationship with the other person. You get to discuss some content. We don't even prepare for these interviews. I prepare like a set of maybe 5 or 6 questions and just let it go live. That way, the creation happens on the spot. These were not published live. I actually pre-recorded them using Zoom, and then I posted them afterwards. So I was able to edit them if I needed to, but I actually didn't need to edit them at all. Then we have talking head, which is just like this webinar is if you're looking at the webcam portion, which is just, my bust, my face, framed, and I'm basically talking to you and you're watching me talk. The problem with talking head is anytime that a video is 100% talking head, whereas people are looking at you and just you, I think that once you go past 5 minutes, people just get tired. Okay, it's just like they're looking at the same thing over and over. So that's the problem with talking head for the most part. I mean, for the folks that are actually sitting here watching the interview, watching the webinar, they're probably okay because that's what they came to the webinar for, and they're seeing that, but they're also seeing the slides that are moving. So that dynamic of having both talking head and slides is really important. So just remember, if you're doing talking head, do it short, do it short, do it short. Then we have slides plus webcam, which is the same thing as a tutorial. The difference is instead of showing a live software, you're showing slides, just like we're doing in this webinar. Then you can actually do like a podcast style where maybe you record somebody's audio, only do the audio, they don't want to do the video, and then just put a still image on the whole video, with the 2 pictures of the 2 folks, and that would be it. That would be your video, and it's just audio, but it can post on YouTube like a video. Okay, let's see. Then let's go to the next video style. So you can go with a documentary or commercial style. Typically, you need to learn about video production, more editing. You would have to have multiple cameras, great lighting, and you would have to have B-roll. And B-roll is basically, well, we'll talk about B-roll. At least I hope I'll be able to have some time to talk about B-roll. But B-roll is that video between scenes that is just like, like a slow shot of the office or a slow shot of something outside, or a slow shot of somebody talking, or a slow shot of traffic, or the clouds, or mountains, or the environment. It's just there to do filler while a voiceover is happening on top of that. That's what B-roll is, and I'll talk about some of the tools that I have or that I know of to get some free B-roll that's out there. So I'll show you that. Then there's do in-person interviews, which is the second one you see there. I interviewed a few folks at a conference. Talked about their practice, how they do business. We didn't use lavalier mics. We didn't use these type of mics. So no, we didn't use this. We actually used the shotgun mic on this case, and you can hear that. So you can actually look through my YouTube channel and see that interview, and actually the sound was great. We did some audio reduction on the software. Camtasia has an audio noise reduction option, so we did that as well. Then you can also do group discussions. So I've been recording group discussions with my friend Kirk and a few of my colleagues, and it's sort of a three-way discussion. We talk about advisory and consulting, and we're gonna pack that up and we're gonna publish that as a sort of like a webinar type of, like a webcast podcast type of series. That's also gonna go in my YouTube channel, but that's not being done live. We're recording that with Zoom, and we're saving them, and then we're going to post them later on next year. And there's also great discussions you have, and that's how you attract great clients, when people watch you speak intelligently about how you deal with your clients and your business. People like that. People like to know who they're working with in a more spiritual, deep way. And with these interviews, that stuff comes along. Then there's also the vlogging style, which is the one at the bottom left that you see on the screen. That was me. I basically filmed myself walking into the conference center and going into the main stage. And that video is up in my YouTube channel. It's called The People of QuickBooks Connect, something like that. And you can see it. And that's me walking around with my digital camera like this and interviewing folks and kind of like showing stuff. That's a lot of fun to do and a lot of fun to watch as well. And then there's animated explainer videos, which does require you to know how to animate or hire an animation service for that. And those do exist, and they're pretty easy to find on the web. Folks that that they do like little slides and the hand that looks like they're drawing the stuff. Those you can hire for fairly inexpensive, probably under $1,000, and they're great promotional videos to put on your website or to explain what you do and how you do it. Now let's move on to pre-recorded versus live, and we had that quick interruption a couple of like 20 minutes ago, where we're doing live and trying to do some interesting things with live, and some of the stuff we wanted to do didn't work, and that was kind of a preamble to this piece. So I just want to talk about my thoughts about pre-recorded versus live. So the first thing is, I have a lot of pre-recorded videos in my YouTube channel. I have 300 videos, pre-recorded videos in my YouTube channel. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to pre-recorded. Pre-recorded is great because you can do retakes, you can do edits, you can cut stuff out that doesn't work. You can adjust the audio levels, which is really important because in some cases you'll forget to increase or decrease the volume of your microphone. And you don't want your videos to have different levels of, like, if somebody watches your videos, they want to know that your volume is going to be here. They don't want to watch another video where the volume's all the way down, or another video where the volume's all the way low, right? Because then people get annoyed by having to flip their volume, or trying to figure out how they can hear you. Okay, so that's a really important piece, a really important sort of learning experience of that, is that you may want to be able to adjust audio videos later if you have inconsistent audio, or maybe you have background noise in one of them and that sort of thing. You can also combine videos. So if you have basically a story that you're telling, where you're saying, hey, I'm walking into a new client that does shoe manufacturing, and you kind of film the outside, and you come in and you stop, and then maybe later on you film someone putting together a shoe, and then later on you film someone moving the boxes from one area of the warehouse to the other, and then later on you watch someone doing the boxes, and then later on you film someone, I don't know, printing an invoice. You want to make a whole video story about that. With live, that's just going to be very difficult, because you all these things are not going to happen in the perfect timing to be able to adjust the length and have one shorter video. That's a nice thing about pre-recorded. Also with pre-recorded, you can switch. You can do a little bit of documentary, you can do some screen share, you can do talking head, and you can compose it together, in however way you want it. and you can schedule a publish date. So you can pre-record something, publish it in the future. Now the problem with pre-recorded is it takes longer to create and publish, and you're going to get feedback later on after it gets published. It's not as satisfactory as just posting content and being done with it. That's where live really works well. Now, what's the problem with live? You cannot edit the mistakes. It's normally a single roll, which means it's a single take. Like you don't get to really change camera angles or stuff like that because you're basically walking around with a camera. Now, with Zoom, it's a software that we use for webinars. You can switch between webcam and screen share and do picture in picture on the fly. So that's really good, but that's really it. And the nice thing about Zoom is that you can go straight to Facebook Live or YouTube Live with Zoom. So that's pretty good. Um, and since it's published live, you can see the feedback right there and then, just like how we showed you where we had some people commenting on the Facebook Live. So I don't think live is something's wrong with live or something's wrong with pre-recorded. I don't have a preference. Just make sure you understand what you're getting into with each one. If you're personally having trouble, if you're having trouble making videos because you can't make time, just go live, because that way you'll do it and it's done. Do it and it's done. Do it and it's done. But if you're gonna do tutorials, then you should probably be thinking about pre-recorded. That would be my take on that. So as I mentioned, so pre-recorded, anything that's a tutorial, a how-to, tips and tricks, anything that enumerates a list, anything that gives options 1, 2, 3, anything that uses numbers, complex topics, anything that you want to show with a graph, with a table, with a matrix, anything with pricing, with numbers or calculation, I would say pre-record. Pre-record because you don't want to confuse your audience with some of the issues that you can have with live where you say a number, you didn't mean to say a number. Like, if you want to be precise on what you're saying, how you're saying it, if you're trying to showcase a piece of knowledge or share something what the folks are going to use as a decision maker to say, yes, I want to work with this person, you should go pre-recorded. Just because you got to be able to cut those mistakes and the message has to come across correct. Now, live, it's about sharing your thoughts, sharing your opinions, maybe giving folks some updates. Maybe you want to get something out there immediately as you experience it, or you want to share it right away, or maybe talk about news or something newsworthy. Or if it had worked, you could do Facebook Live with a friend and do kind of an interview. Again, sorry that didn't work. I'm going to figure out how to get that to work and publish it in some other way, shape, or fashion. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, so in the last couple of weeks, I published about 4 or 5 videos that have been impromptu, inconsistent environment, and live. One was outside my house, one was inside my office, one was inside my car. And I kind of designed it that way because I wanted to have some content already created so we can use it as an example. And that's in my Facebook. So if you join me, become my friend or whatever, if you go on my Facebook and you scroll down, you're going to see all 3 videos plus like about 2 more. And on each case, I used a different microphone. Like in some cases, I actually used a lapel mic. In some of them, I used a shotgun mic. In some, I used just the iPhone mic. So you're going to see different audio qualities, but they all should be pretty good. And with these, I just basically had an idea. I want to talk about, trust, or I want to talk about the one word that we had an exercise that we had to do in our office. I want to talk about a powerful word that called a word reflection, which is a very important word for me and what that meant for me. And in each cases, I basically, for about 10 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes, you see, I was basically speaking impromptu. I had in my mind an idea of what I wanted to say, and I would say that each of those videos are probably 3 to 5 minutes too long. I think if I would have rehearsed it, if I would have written down, or if I would have had a chance to edit, I would have done them differently. But I did them and I was done, and they're done. And the satisfaction that I got from being able to publish those videos and get some of my thoughts out there was huge. And it's part of one of my strategies for next year, which I'll discuss right when we're almost about to finish, which I'll talk about like sort of the summary of what I think you should do, and tell you a little bit about what I'm planning to do. So As I spoke about Zoom a couple of times earlier, I just wanted to bring it out in the open. If you want to do a tutorial type of video or an interview type of video or a webinar style that you also want to publish live in Facebook or YouTube, then you should use Zoom, because Zoom allows you to run a webinar, allows you to record it that we can post into YouTube later on, and it also allows you to go live on Facebook. My friend Seth David, that's how he does it. It's $54 a month, pretty big investment, but if this is going to be where you're going to put all your marketing dollars in, it's actually a fairly small investment. And you can do that obviously from your laptop. Make sure you get yourself a headset or a nice microphone like the Blue Jetty or the Blue Snowball, which I talked earlier, because you want to have crispy sound for those webinars that you're going to publish live. Now, if you don't want to spend any money and you do want to do live and you want to do screen share, you can try something called Google Hangouts on Air. The only problem is it only goes to YouTube, so I can only publish into YouTube. And the second thing is it puts the Google logo in all the content, and it doesn't record locally in your computer. So if you want to go YouTube live and you really don't care about those things, then you can use Google Hangouts on Air. Otherwise, use Zoom because it doesn't put that watermark on it. It's your own video. You can edit it afterwards, and you can go to Facebook Live and YouTube if you want to. So that's kind of like, on the live, we're talking about live, specifically live. I wanted to talk about those. Now let's talk about Facebook versus YouTube, and what about Instagram or LinkedIn? So some of the things that I've been learning about doing stuff in Facebook versus YouTube. I've been doing stuff in YouTube much longer. Facebook is fairly new for me, but it's been a learning experience nonetheless. So I really wanted to share that. So Facebook usually is your friends. People connected to you are the ones that are going to watch it. So Facebook is not going to have that searchability where folks that you don't know or are not connected with are going to watch your stuff. So that's kind of like the main point, is that it will be just like your friends, quote unquote, in Facebook. And your friends can choose to not be notified by your postings, and you won't know. So you can create daily videos and you can have 900 friends, but if they don't like your content, they will probably turn off notifications because they don't want to hear your live videos, or they don't want to be notified of your live videos, and you won't know that, right? In contrast with YouTube, with your subscribers, that number, exactly how many people are getting notifications of what you're publishing. Now, one of the optional things is to do a business page instead of a personal page to publish your content. And let me cover that real quick. Let me switch over to um, Facebook here. I think you should be able to see my Facebook now. So let me show you. So I have a business page called Quick Bookkeeping, which is my company. And Quick Bookkeeping is basically like almost like a business website. Is my business page. And in Quick Bookkeeping, if you click on videos, I try to publish almost all my videos in here. So you have a big library of videos. So if anybody stumbles upon my business in Facebook and they click on videos, they're going to see a lot of content that basically proves to them that I know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, that's the purpose of the video. But what's nice about it is you can also do your Facebook Lives right in here. So you actually don't need to do it personally. So you can do your Facebook Live straight from here. Actually, not Facebook Live. I'm sorry. Publish your videos straight from here. So I can come in here and I can publish my videos. I have my photos in here, and they're not going to be on your live personal feed. So that's a nice thing about the groups. You can post your videos there. They will have to be pre-recorded, and you can publish them afterwards, which is totally okay. And you can pre-record them on your phone and then publish them afterwards. But there's also groups. So let me go to a group real quick. I'm going to go to this group called VMAP, which, by the way, you should join this group. Just search VMAP in Facebook and join this group, because this group is only folks that are in the accounting field that want to learn how to make video, and they're sharing with each other what they're learning and their techniques. But inside of a group, and different than a page I can upload my videos, but inside I can do live. See, so I can do a live video inside the group, and no one really will watch it. So I'll just do one real quick. I'll go live here and say, Hey VMAP group, just doing a quick test. I'm doing actually a live webinar and talking about posting live videos in a group instead of on your personal profile, because the group itself is designed for you to build a community. You build a community around a cause, you build community around a theme, you build community around a solution. In this particular case, this community is about making videos for accounting professionals as your main source of income. And what's great about the community is that community members want to watch your videos. They will comment, they will give you feedback, and this doesn't go into the public. So this particular video that I'm doing live at the moment, none of my Facebook friends, my normal Facebook friends, can watch this. This is only for the 300 people that are inside the VMAP group. So that's actually another option. So I just wanted to kind of like encourage you, if you are in VMAP already, make videos, ask questions. It's so easy. It's a one button. I'm already getting some feedback pane saying that was so easy, so simple. You know, use this group as the place where you test your videos. You create your content, ask for feedback. Don't be afraid. Just start doing your live videos. So thank you. I'm gonna hit finish now, and that's it. That was three buttons I pressed, and it's within a group, so it's within a controlled group. I mean, there's only two or three hundred people in this group. Let me close that. Two or three hundred people in this group. I'm not afraid, of making a mistake in front of this group. The purpose of this group was to share. Here's Seth David's video. I'm gonna hit refresh, see if mine shows up. So the purpose of this group was to have a small group of people, a tight group of people. That there's my video already. There's the comment in which we create content for each other, with each other, for that purpose. So you can create your own group around your cause, whatever that cause may be. I mean, your cause could be, figuring out the new tax laws for 2018. I mean, there's plenty of content there, plenty of anxiety there. Tons of accounting professionals are trying to understand the new tax laws that were just enacted. You create a group just around that and create videos of saying, hey, this is how I interpret this law, right? So that's something you can do, right? So a Facebook group, it's great for building a community around a cause, and it's a great place to put your videos instead of just typing. On the business page, as I mentioned earlier, you cannot go live, but you can post pre-recorded videos there, which you can use with your phone. Now, YouTube, let's switch over to YouTube. Why I love YouTube, one of the reasons I think YouTube is a great place to do this in, is because in YouTube, it's searchable. Okay, YouTube is searchable. So folks that don't know you will find you through a search, which is much different than Facebook. Facebook, people already connected with you, so you're probably only going to strengthen current relationships, not so much build new ones. But in YouTube, you can build new relationships because folks are going to find you there, and we can talk about that if we have time. We don't have that much time, but we'll talk about it if we can make some time towards a little bit towards the end of the webinar. With YouTube, you get subscribers, so you know exactly how many people want to watch your content every time. Subscribers get an email with a list of all the videos from channels they subscribe to that are new, so you know they're getting notifications, and you get feedback, you get likes, you get views, you get comments, you get watch time, you get all this value of information that lets you know and gives you instant feedback of whether your content is good or not to the general public. In Facebook, everybody's going to tell you that they love your video, right? Because they know you. They love you already, or maybe not love you, but they know you already. In YouTube, you're going to get a lot more haters than in Facebook. So you're going to get much more realistic, down to earth comments. And some comments may just be completely waste of time, but YouTube will give you much better sort of feedback from the masses that Facebook would. This is why the two are I use the two. I can't just tell you use one or the other. And if you have two phones or you're publishing from two places, Facebook's not going to claim ownership over YouTube. I know Patricia was asking about ownership rights. So if you're publishing from two different sources, the camera angles are going to be slightly different. So they can't complain that you're publishing Facebook and YouTube. It's not the same content. It's slightly different. Maybe the same audio, same everything. But if you're using two devices, it's technically two separate, completely sets of content, although it may be the exact same thing. So I wanted to answer that question for Patricia. Now, Instagram, I have not used Instagram. I can't tell you anything anything smart or eloquent about Instagram. But the one thing I learned is that Instagram videos are taking off. They're becoming very popular, a great way of building, an audience. But it's a maximum of 1 minute. So you want to kind of keep that in mind, that it's 1 minute maximum. So you can do a maximum of 1 minute on Instagram. And LinkedIn doesn't do live videos yet, so you can pre-record, publish in LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is probably going to be best to connect with other professionals. So if you're targeting end users, LinkedIn may not be the best place. You may just target other people like you or in similar areas. Now, Julie saying that she was able to search me in Facebook and was able to find me even though she's not my friend. But so Julie, to answer that, you actually searched my name. You search Hector Garcia. I'm talking about when I'm talking about searchable. I'm talking about the topic. Somebody wants to search, importing data from Excel into QuickBooks. That's what they're gonna type. They're not gonna type Hector Garcia import. You know what I mean? So I think YouTube will give you a lot more random people watching, which could expand, your client base if you're using this for marketing. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about studying YouTube search results. Okay, so one of the great gifts that YouTube has given us, one of the great, beautiful, amazing gifts that Google and YouTube have done for us is called autocomplete. Autocomplete is absolutely amazing. It means you start typing something, and then it tells you pretty much the top 10 things that people are searching. Let's switch over to that real quick to show you what that looks like. And we talked about this with more detail in the other webinar that we did about a month ago. But let's say, for example, I want to do a video around, let's say QuickBooks Bank reconciliations. So if I type QuickBooks Bank reconciliation, I type RE, you can actually tell what are the top things that people are searching. So they're searching the word tutorial, tutorial 2017, register, reconciliation problems, reconciliation report. So let's take a look at this one called reconciliation problems. So I'm going to search that, and then you can actually see the top videos that show up under that search. So we see video 1, video 2, video 3. Let's say that one of the things you wanted to do was create a video that that showed up number 1 on that search. Where number 1, you have to have more views, more likes, and subscribers, and that's going to take a while to build. For sure, that's going to take a while to build. So what I would do is I would watch those 3 videos, the top 3, and see what they did not mention. So look at the top videos, see what they didn't cover. If you think they're too long, make them shorter. If you think they're too short, make them longer. Okay. So just use the results. Use those results as a way to come up with your own content. And that's assuming that you want to make tutorial videos and you want to compete against something that's out there already. You can also just keep searching for things, maybe things that people are not looking for so much, and basically create a new demand for a new topic that folks are not searching. So you can go both ways with that. Okay, so I wanted to show you that because I think autocomplete is an incredible gift that the folks at YouTube have given us. Okay. The other things you want to do is you want to look at, inside a particular video, and you want to see what the folks are telling you about that video. So let me switch back over to YouTube, and let's say I'm going to click on this video, and let's see what this video has. So this video has 27,000 views, which is great. It has 129 likes, which is I think very low for 27,000 views. Has 6 dislikes. That's actually really good. You want to be at 95%. So if you got 95% likes versus dislikes, that's actually a pretty good thing. I'm gonna hit like on her video. Might give Candace some love there, and as long as you're at the 95% range, it's good. So this tells you that 27,000, a good sample of 27,000 people, more than 95%, 97% like this video. So there's something you can learn from this video. Now notice, when this was published. Now, unfortunately, we live in a world where yesterday is late. Yesterday is old news. So one of the great advantages you can have over some of the folks that already have a lot of videos on YouTube is that you create content that's new, that's fresh, more new stuff, even if it's the exact same thing. YouTube in the first 2 days, a very important piece, within 48 hours of publishing anything, YouTube gives a temporary boost to all your videos of 50%. So whatever boost they would give it otherwise, they would basically that would increase it by 50% just because it's new, and then it goes away afterwards. So that's an important piece. If you're making weekly or daily content, you can conceivably compete against some of these folks on those top videos only for those first couple of days. So if you're making daily content, you can start actually knocking some of these videos out of relevancy. We're talking about a year and a half video already, right? So that's going to be a particularly good strategy for you to think about. The other things you want to learn from these videos is, she's putting a link up front. So this is your call to action, right? So whatever link you're putting there is the behavior that you want to drive. You want to drive behaviors to that link. Now, the people have to click on more to see everything else. I wouldn't worry about anything else. Just worry about the first two lines of the description and make sure you have a link there to take you whatever it is that you want to take. If people want to go to a site to do an interview, or go to a site to watch your website, or your phone number, whatever your call to action is, make sure you put it within those first two lines. And the other things are the comments. So you start reading those comments, and in the comments, sometimes there are questions. Like in some cases, there are just comments like "great video, thank you, good job," or in some cases criticism. But in some cases, there are actual questions. So you can actually, like, if you're struggling to find content, read the comments of some of these great videos, and those comments themselves can become your topic for your next video. So how about that for an incredible tip? I mean, like, I would say that particular tip itself, it's as powerful as it gets if you're having an issue, thinking or coming up with content. Okay, so let's wrap this up. I got a lot of things, a lot more things to say, but I don't want to keep you up because I know an hour and a half is a lot for a webinar. But I wanted to share a lot of things that I couldn't share on my previous webinar. So you want to make sure that your title is descriptive. There's a total of 100 characters you can have in your title. As a matter of fact, the shorter the title, the better. We've seen with videos that go live, usually 5 to 6 words is the limit that people really read on a title. If you have a title that's really long, people will stop reading it and they may not even click on the video in the first place. Make sure you have your call to actions, your websites on the first two lines of the description. Make sure you have long descriptions for searchability. If you are alluding to product or content or another website, or a particular page or a particular article, make sure you give them credit on the description itself, because folks are going to want to watch your content if you're giving them resources. And just pay attention to the tags. The tags is on the search keywords that people are going to watch, and try as much as possible to make your video short and make them part of a series. So you can add them into a playlist of some sort to make them part of a series. So on the right, you're going to see that you can actually create a playlist and add them to the playlist, because YouTube also boosts your playlist, and your playlists are as searchable as the specific videos themselves. Okay. Now, okay, so let's wrap this up and talk about content ideas for 2018. So if you were here for an hour and a half, and there's still 57 people left on the live webinar, thank you for coming to the webinar. Thank you for, investing an hour and a half and maybe another 10 minutes of your life to this. I would like to encourage you to do videos, and I'm going to give you some content ideas, and you're going to see even some of my videos with some of these content ideas for 2018. And I don't mind sharing them. I don't mind if we do them together. I don't mind if we're competing for better quality. All I really want, honestly, I want my industry, I want accounting professionals and accounting finance consultants, I want them to be known as experts, not as data entry people. I want them to be known as partners to a business, not just compliance people. And the way we're going to push this industry forward, the whole industry, is by us sharing more relevant content that small business owners like, beyond just the accounting, beyond just the debits and credits. That's what I want. That's what I would like to do. So hopefully, if you are, if you're doing some of these things, I think we're all together. If all 50 of you, 57, 100 of you do this together, we're gonna really raise the bar for coming years, and we're gonna really change the game, I think. So some content ideas that accounting professionals or any service professional, really, if you happen not to be an accounting professional, can apply in 2018. Well, the number one is go live, do more live stuff. That's gonna be number one. Do live. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Do live, go live, go live. Don't worry about the mistakes. I had a webinar full of mistakes. I don't care, right? And like, get rid of that fear that making mistakes doing live videos are relevant. They are not relevant. Okay, people don't care that you make mistakes on live videos. People will care about mistakes on recorded videos. They'll grill you for mistakes. So when you record a video, it better be perfect. But on live, people are totally okay. So that's actually kind of an interesting contrast to that. So in live, it's okay to make mistakes. On pre-recorded, not so much. People already have high expectation for video quality, for pre-recorded quality. So in the accounting area, one of the great things to think about is, common questions. Write down what are the questions that people ask you all the time. What are the things that people ask you all the time? Like the number one question I get every year from every customer, it's flawless, is, why is my taxable income 50,000 but I only have $10,000 in my bank? It is my most common accounting question that I have. Like this non-understanding of accrual or cash accounting, or non-understanding about paying off debts or shareholder distributions, and how that doesn't affect your profit and loss for taxable income. And yet there are hardly any videos in YouTube or Facebook explaining those things. I mean, so I would say that would be one of the biggest opportunities for you to create content around that. Now, what about QuickBooks questions, like how do I reconcile my bank? How do I enter my credit card charges? Those are great tutorial videos to make. And also other apps. I think, we're all stuck in, we have to make a QuickBooks video. Like, make a video about Gmail. Make a video about some task manager software that you use. Make a video about PowerPoint. Make a video about Word. Make a video about Excel. Make a video about editing an image or video editing. You don't have to be stuck with it, like it needs to absolutely be a QuickBooks video. It does not. It absolutely does not. Another idea is to, videos that you already watch in YouTube, maybe some of the great videos that you watch, mention that you like them, but they're missing, topics A, B, and C. So you can both give allude to the author's content, say, hey, this is a great video, I love it, but I think he failed to mention points A, B, and C. And a lot of folks like that. They like for you to just mention what was missing. Or like my kids watch video bloopers of movies that they've never even seen. So they haven't seen the movie yet, but they're watching on YouTube a 5-minute reel of the bloopers from the movie. For some reason, that's what they want to see. So I'm not saying that you're going to point out the bloopers, just point out the gaps or point out the things that were not mentioned, without putting the video down. Now you can grab a random page from an accounting book and just create a topic around that, right? I mean, you have accounting books laying around, can't think of content. Grab a random page, grab a strong topic, and say, okay, I'll make a video about that. That is, interview your favorite clients, interview colleagues. Okay, interviewing colleagues is great because both of you are giving each other exposure at the same time. You kill two birds with one stone. Hopefully you interview a colleague that does things different than you. That way it doesn't feel that they are competitors in any way. Recommend maybe some of your favorite accounting videos. So you can say, hey, Hector has a great video on importing data. I recommend this video for X, Y, and Z. I also recommend my video on a similar topic. Here you go, or a tax video. What about tax tips? You can literally grab the tax code, grab a random page from the tax code, and you can create a video around that particular rule or that particular thing, and you will have content forever, assuming that you do tax stuff. Okay, so yeah, so I mean that's good things to kind of think about. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, let's talk about non-accounting content. What about powerful words? A word like trust, or a word like integrity, or a word like accuracy. I mean, you could do a 10-minute rant on all what accuracy means, what it means to some people. Is it subjective? Is it objective? We're talking about accounting accuracy. We're talking about completeness. I mean, there's so much content just on the word accuracy or the word, integrity. I mean, you can microanalyze a powerful word and you can have a great message out there. What about quotes? Just Google, top quotes, 100 quotes, or subscribe to those pages that do quote a day and they email you a quote every single day. If you're doing weekly videos, pick your favorite quote that you got that week, say it, give credit to the author, and then tell folks how that quote helps you or how it connects to something you do or something you've done. You can just do stuff with quotes and people will love that stuff. I mean, you can do 2 3 minutes, 5 minute videos maximum. What about your own interpretation of markets, the economy, globalization, Bitcoin? I mean, there's just so many things happening that you can, weekly basis, you can say, hey, look, this is what I learned, about markets, about Bitcoin, about the economy this week. I'm not sure if I'm 100% right about it, but this is what I think. You can do videos about that. What about recommending, non-accounting videos, just your favorite videos in YouTube or business videos in general? Recommending favorite books or giving summaries of your favorite books or books that you're reading now. You don't have to have read the book. Or you can say books you didn't like or books that felt repetitive, maybe favorite authors. Industry news. If you're specializing on a particular industry, you want to do industry news. So if you want to specialize in construction, subscribe to some of those newsletters that give you construction related content every single day or every week and use it to create your own videos. Okay, let's talk about more strategies and ideas. It's just we're going to wrap this up. We're almost done here. Okay, just have to make a quick correction there. So definitely build a video library in a Facebook company page as well as YouTube. So make sure you have both, all your YouTube videos and your Facebook videos, your building library. Send offline video responses to your prospect and client. So when you have a prospect that says, hey, Hector, I'd like to set up a meeting with you. I'll talk about my accounting, my books. You can say something like, hey, send me a quick email with the top 10 pain points and things that you want. And then just create a video response around that and say, hey, we would love to meet you next week. It sounds like we can help you. These are some general thoughts I have about the questions you have, just to kind of start thinking about it, help you prepare for the meeting, and make a video and email that video to a customer. I mean, you would not, if you've never done that before, or if someone's never done that to you, you have no idea how amazing and how impactful it is to receive a video answer to an email. I mean, you will close that deal in a heartbeat. Even if you double the price as the next guy, they will buy from you because a video response is really powerful. Or do your meetings in live video. Don't do them over the phone. Do them with Zoom, right? Do it with GoToMeeting. Do live video meetings, right? Use video to close more business. Use video to create a stronger bond with new customers. Something that we're starting to implement in our office is when we do training sessions, we're given the option to the customer to pay an extra $50 or $100 for the recording of that video. So if you want us to train you over the internet, TeamViewer or GoToMyPC or whatever, or Zoom, that's not going to be recorded. But if you want us to record it and send you the video, we can charge you an extra $100. And some people are starting to pay for it. Why? Because they know that if they're paying a couple $100 on a training, they pay a little bit extra and they get the video, they could always refer back to the video, and you never want to give those for free. You want to charge extra for that. Use your videos to train your clients. Just use your library of video for your clients to learn the stuff. Like, never think that you're shooting yourself in the foot by giving your client more ammunition to do things themselves. That gives you more time yourself to do better, more strategic consulting work instead of explaining to someone how to write a check 100 times. I had a client a couple of years ago that was complaining about the work that I was putting. Like, I was giving them flat rates, but they kept saying, but I think this is taking you, it only took you 2 hours, only took you 3 hours. And I had one particular thing that I had to fix that took me like 7 hours to do. I recorded the whole session because I knew something was going to happen. And then the client was complaining that, hey, you did it in 2 hours and you charged me $2,000. You're a crook, this and that. And I said, look, here's a 7-hour video of all my work. And you think they watched it? They watched 2 minutes and they stopped. Like, I had it in an unlisted video on YouTube so I can know, until what time they watched. They watched it for 2 minutes and then they stop complaining. Okay, I'm not saying that's a good practice. I'm not saying you should record all the time that you're sitting there working, but it is, an idea, right? Maybe you can take it with a grain of salt or ignore that completely. Now, how to growth hack your video. So once you create the video, you want to share them everywhere. Share them on Twitter, share them on Facebook, share them on Instagram, share them everywhere because you don't never know who's going to like it and who's going to share it to someone else in the network. Answer community questions or client questions via video. So go to the forums, go to the communities, go to places where people are. Let me see. Can you see my screen? I'm getting people saying they can't see my screen again. Go to the places where people are asking questions about accounting or video or whatever, and make a video response and post your YouTube video in those forums. I mean, you're going to really be known as the person that actually answers the questions with videos. I mean, it's amazing, what you can do with that. Now, use clickbait. You can use clickbait. You can use stuff that is controversial or feels controversial to make videos, and you're gonna get views. Like if you create a video called "The Trump Tax is Bad for Small Business," you're gonna get views. You are gonna get views. Like I don't think it is. I think for the most part, the Trump tax, the GOP tax reform is actually gonna be good for small business. But if you want to point out the specific situations in which it would be bad for small business, then you can make a video about that. So that's actually just a really interesting way to like use clickbait. Or you can use something like, with an LLC, you're paying too much taxes, which, by the way, is not a true statement or a false statement. I mean, this is all circumstantial. But you can use, things that, that folks would feel a shock when they read it. They're like, oh, I gotta watch this. So you can use that sort of that clickbait style of titles to create good content videos. Like it's okay for you to, like, as long as you speak about what the title is generally okay. And collaborate with other YouTubers. Like, who's out there creating content that does things different than you, and say, hey, let's do something together, or promote my channel, I'll promote your channel. That's that type of stuff. And okay, so let's talk about some of the resources. So this website here called hectorgarcia.com/QBC, you switch over to that. Okay, so hectorgarcia.com/QBC is a list of resources that I created for the folks that took my video class that I taught at QuickBooks Connect. It has a lot of videos I created, ideas, other YouTubers, articles. I mean, like, if you really want to get into video, you visit this website, hectorgarcia.com/QBC. You'll see tons of stuff. The other resource is this one, which is Video Marketing for Accountants. So just go to videomarketingforaccountants.com. It takes you straight into my Teachable page that has a course that's $247, which contains a combination between a 3-hour webinar I did about a month ago, where it talks about some of the stuff that I was updating you on. So there's a lot of content there. It has ScreenFlow and Camtasia tutorials. And yes, I'm asking you, recommending you to pay the $250 and enroll into that course. It's got a lot of content in there. Let me just hit X here for a second to tell you what's in there. So we have videos on Camtasia. I talk about for a whole hour about equipment. So we only covered a few equipment things here. They talk about a lot more about equipment. So I would love for you to enroll into this course. And this particular session that we're doing live, we're going to record it and we're going to post it in here. So only the folks that have already bought that course from before, the Buy It in the Future, will have access to this recording that I'm doing live at the moment. So, okay, so that's videomarketingforaccountants.com. And there's also YouTube Creator Academy, which I'll show you that. And that's all content created by YouTube that also has a lot of interesting things, some stats, some tutorials. You do want to check out here the catalog. There's a lot of stuff in there. Go check it out. I mean, it is pretty much for YouTubers or people creating content in YouTube. And some of that stuff, it's similar to Facebook. Now you want to search any of these YouTubers video SEO, video creators, Daryl Eves, Nick Nimnim, Roberto Blake, video influencers, Think Media. You want to follow all these guys because these guys pretty much show you how to become YouTubers, how to create great content. They talk about, some of them talk about cameras, some of them talk about microphones, some talk about screen capture software, techniques to hook your audience. I mean, these video creators are really, really helping everybody, even helping myself create content. So you want to follow any of these guys here. And B-roll. Like there's something called royalty-free footage, which are videos you can purchase to create B-roll. So I'm going to show you here for a second. I want to don't not going to spend a lot of time in it, but I'm going to show you this website. It goes videos.pexels.com. So videos.pexels.com, and there's free royalty-free images in here. So if you're doing a video and not a live video but a pre-edited video, and you kind of want to insert some b-roll while you're doing your voiceover. So if you want to talk about, hey, first thing I do in the morning after I have my coffee is check my bank reconciliations, or I mean my bank feeds or my bank downloads. So if you're going to insert a small 10-second b-roll of the coffee while you're talking, it just makes the video really nice and dynamic and professional. And pexels.videos.com has about 50 or 60 free videos you can use right now, and it's actually a great deal. There's also a company called Video Blocks. I just purchased their package. It's like it cost me like $100 for a whole year. This one has about 1,200 what is it? 115,000 videos that you can use for B-roll, and there's tons of stuff. Like for example, I'm gonna search. Let me see I'm gonna put money toilet. Okay, and this is gonna be funny, but like if your video is having a message about you wasting your money or something like that, you're wasting your money. Are you wasting your money in other accountants? Are you wasting your money in office supplies? Whatever. You can take any of these, basically a toilet with a dollar flushing down, and you can insert it into your video. That's called B-roll. Like that adds some dynamics into it. And I don't want to get too much into it because that's more video editing, and I don't want to turn you off from creating content. I'm actually encouraging you to do more of the Facebook Live stuff because it's a good gateway. But once you get into video editing, these type of things you may want to know. Also, you want to search royalty-free music, bensound.com, neosounds.com. You can get background music and intros that you can put into your videos for the pre-recorded videos. Other tools, as I want to wrap this up, if you watch an awesome YouTube video and you're trying to figure out what's the background song that they're using, like you really like that song for whatever reason, you go to mooma.sh, like moomash, mooma.sh. You can put any YouTube URL and it turns back and tells you what song that they use or what songs that they're using. It's like a Shazam for YouTube videos. If you want to download a YouTube video into your computer, maybe you want to use it to practice some video editing, you go to clipconverter.cc. You can put any YouTube video there and I'll download it and bring it into your computer, and you can use it as a video to play with. There's also Social Blade, TubeBuddy, and Video IQ. I'm not going to get into those, but they're great websites just for resources and searching other YouTube channels. So final words, get started. Pick a style, talking head or tutorials. I'll probably say talking head's a good one. Pick a platform. I would say Facebook. I'm liking Facebook, YouTube secondary, then Instagram, then LinkedIn. Pick one or two. Like don't get too caught up with doing multiple. Pick a topic or a theme. Stay niche, stay consistent. Talk about the same thing over and over and over and over, right? You want to hammer people with a consistent message. Commit to a schedule. You can publish daily, weekly, or monthly. Daily, the best. Obviously, weekly. Weekly will probably be for most people, but a specific date. So every Monday at 9 a.m., every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Do it the same, right? Weekly. And don't slow down. This is your marketing. Don't get discouraged. This is how you will get the clients that you want. And that's it. This webinar went exactly 2 hours, and I really only wanted it to be 1 hour. So let me do any Q&A. Let me see if I have any questions here before we wrap up. We still got about 50 people. So somebody's asking, can you re-explain playlists. So a playlist, and let me just switch here for a second to YouTube. That's actually a really good question. So let me go into YouTube here. And a playlist is when you have a series of videos all bundled together. So for example, I'm going to type here QB Power Hour, which is a playlist that I have, and it bears the name of a webinar series. And QB Power Hour, if you can see the first thing that we found here, that's a playlist, right? When I click on that, it doesn't take me to a video, and it does start with a video, but it takes me to a list of videos. So you can see on the right, I'm scrolling up and down. It takes me to a list of videos that contains all the videos in that series. And you want to do a playlist because YouTube will help you boost those search results. So a playlist is really, really important. So hopefully, Jenny, that answered your question. Let's see what else we have. Let me see. I like your option to record our work if clients complain about how long it took us to do something. Now, by the way, that's a little bit in contrast with some of my philosophy is you charge for the end result, not for your work. But there are some clients that want to see your work. Hey, just record it. What's wrong with it? I don't see any issues with that. Let me see. Clients have no idea how long. Somebody else is saying clients have no idea how long stuff takes. So sometimes you send them a 5 hour video and they'll only watch it for 5 minutes and they'll never download it again. Absolutely, Dominique. That was actually the concept behind that. Somebody says, I think people hesitate to like videos in YouTube because it adds it to your list in your accounts. So Julie, that's right. So, but you want to ask people to like it. Like at the end of each video, you want to say, hey, if you like this video, hit like to encourage me to make another one like it, right? I mean, you're not asking for that much commitment, honestly, by saying something like that. Somebody's asking, what's the name of your Facebook group? It's called VMAP. So VMAP. Just type VMAP, VAMP, and then join the VMAP group. And it's basically only by invitation. So, so you guys are I mean, I don't tell the whole world about this group. So I try to just make it so there's a few people asking to be members. So I'm going to accept you, approve, and approve. And VMAP is just a group in which we all talk about marketing via video. So definitely, join us for that. Let's see what else. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. If you don't ask any more questions, I will wrap up. And thank you very much for. Somebody says, what do you think of Zoom? I love Zoom, Martin. Zoom.us. Zoom.us. Probably one of the best tools for you to get started with, simple webinars or simple screen recording. You can do that with Zoom. You don't need any special software. Can do editing, but it's great for that. Videos take up a lot of room in the computer. Yep, they do. That's why I got this thing. It's a 6 terabyte. Disconnected here for a second. This thing is a 6 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive. When I'm done with the video, I save it in here because it's going to take too much room in my computer. So you're probably going to have to need an external hard drive of some sort. Okay, that's it. I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you very much. If the one thing that I would love for you to do for me, I mean, obviously that would be taking your money, but that's okay. Go to videomarketingforaccountants.com, register for the full course. Videos by Seth David and I. We do Camtasia. Tutorials. We have a lot more content around equipment and microphone and stuff like that. And this particular video is recorded and it will only be posted there. So if you watched it live and you got everything you needed to know, you're good. Don't buy anything. If you really want to go deep into this rabbit hole, purchase our course, videomarketingforaccountants.com. And I hope to see you create awesome videos in 2018. And email me or text me or message me when you make them. I would love to see them. I would love to see, if I encourage anyone to make videos, and I will obviously give you my feedback on them. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying the extra time. And you have a happy new year and a very prosperous 2018.